this officer came up and demanded that I not fly here. So I expressed to him that I'm within federal regulations. I have Lance approval.
Take a breath. Take a breath. It's all right.
He wants my driver's license, but I gave him my pilot license, which I feel is sufficient enough. Apparently, he wants me to be an ID tyrant.
Cops just want to be heard. But if they don't know the oath they swore to, why should anyone listen? Welcome back to San Joaquin Valley Transparency.
In this video, Ken's friend is flying a drone at a park and getting some B-roll footage. Right away, a cop demands ID and tells him he can't fly his drone in the park. The man is understandably upset. He believes he's approved to fly in the area. What I like about this video is the fact that Ken takes his time to show us the laws regarding this situation. Cops always act like you have to listen to them, but when the people try to explain what natural rights are, cops call you names like sovereign citizen. Cops will tell you that ignorance of the law is no excuse, but will turn around and tell you they don't have to know all the laws in the books. There's too many of them.
Does that sound like hypocrisy? Cops have the mentality that the people should just comply, but you won't find one video online of a cop getting sworn in where he actually knows the oath he's swearing to. That's the equivalent of being invaded by another country and falling under their rule. Sadly, it's our own government stepping all over the people's liberty. Shame on the Democrats and Republicans both. I think it's time both of you kiss and make up and start pointing your fingers at both of your masters. Without cops, politicians would just be people with bad ideas. Stop supporting your own enslavement. Check out this video from Ken Heron. Subscribe to this channel. Let him know who sent you. Let's get right to the video.
What'd you do?
I flew my drone. I have Lance approval.
Shame on you.
I was just getting B-roll.
How long you been here?
I was just getting B-roll of the skate park
Okay.
for us, and this officer came up and demanded that I not fly here. So I expressed to him that I'm within federal regulations. I have Lance approval.
Take a breath. Take a breath. It's all right.
He wants my driver's license, but I gave him my pilot license, which I feel is sufficient enough. Apparently, he wants me to be an ID tyrant.
It's all right. It's all right. Is this Class G?
No, it's Class E. I have approval.
Oh, okay. Because we're 4.2 miles from the airport.
Yeah, I got my approval.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm flying this airspace all I want, all day long.
It doesn't look like you're doing it from where you're at right now.
What do you mean?
You're standing here.
Flying a drone, yes.
Yes, you cannot do that.
Yes, I can.
From right here, you can.
Yes, I can.
From right here, you can.
Well, then I'll go outside your park and take off.
Oh,
and
is
fly
it
over
is
your
this a
park all
state
you
park?
want.
No, it's a metro park.
Oh,
Metro government owns it.
okay.
But from right here, you're not doing it. Okay? You can't take off and land right here.
That's state parks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that make...
It's true. It's true.
I'm sorry?
It's true. It's state parks. National parks, you can't fly in. State parks, you can fly in, but you can't take off and land. Metro parks, it's fine. As long as it's in Class G airspace.
After double checking, here are the rules with parks. At national parks, you may not take off or land from them without a permit, but you may traverse the airspace by launching outside the park, then flying in. This goes for state parks as well, although there are some drone-friendly states that allow takeoff and landing from within their parks. City parks like this one can dictate what you do on their land, despite it being a public space. More on this in a moment.
So you can't do that from right here.
That's what you say. But we just explained to you that we can. I've already showed you. I've already showed you my authorization.
From right here.
I said I would be nice enough to step outside your grounds and launch and fly over your car.
Listen to me.
Honestly, I'm done listening to you. You don't know the law.
If you go,
Easy, Keith.
if you go out to a parkway.
No city or state or
you're not letting me talk.
is going to trump
You are
the
not
federal
letting me
mandates
talk.
on this.
Listen to me.
Okay, go for it.
You are making this more difficult than it has to be. I came over here trying to be
Be
friendly.
a tyrant.
I came over here trying to be friendly just to let you.
No, if you were being friendly, you would have asked me who I was. You wouldn't have demanded that I give you ID.
This is why we have issues. This is why we have issues.
Now, if you were being polite, I could see that, but you weren't. You demanded that I provide you with ID. I told you I don't have to give that to you, even though I did give you my pilot's license.
Can you hold on?
Can I talk to you since you're listening to me and you're explaining it to him?
Sure.
For me, because I'm not going to talk to somebody who's not going to listen.
Please.
Oh, that's fine, Dandy. The beauty of this is I don't have to listen.
I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
No, I don't.
People like you will make stuff difficult.
Am I being detained?
I'm not talking to you. Can you please explain before this goes further than what it has to go?
There's no crime?
Yeah.
Okay, he can't take off and land in the Metro Park.
Is there a metro?
If he wants to go to Two Rivers Parkway, take off and land out there, that's fine. But you can't do it in Metro Park.
Does Metro have a rule specifically in the books for that?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
And I call my lieutenant to make sure I was correct as I was, to make sure. Okay. You cannot land and take off in Metro Park. Okay. If you want to stay in the Two Rivers Parkway, McGavick Pike, take off and land and fly it over the park, that's fine.
I see the problem, and let me explain the problem without interruption. Okay?
Go ahead.
The problem is...
This is my favorite part of the video. Ken breaks down the confusion for both his friend and the authoritarian cop. Not even the cop can argue with the obvious logic Ken puts on the table. Government hypocrisy at its finest. The only thing government wants to do is regulate the people and fine them an exaggerated amount of money for doing things without their permission. Watch how Ken breaks this down, and don't forget to subscribe to his channel and let him know who sent you. Now back to the video.
He's right, and you're right. That's the problem.
This is the problem so many other drone pilots are dealing with right now across the country. It makes no sense that a city or local municipality can regulate the federal airspace, but logic doesn't play a major part in governmental business. Here's why the Metro officer thinks he's right. This is a recently created Nashville Metro ordinance that says, no toy aviation. Well, that doesn't apply because our drones aren't toys. In another part of the ordinance, it reads, no flying machine or other apparatus for aviation. It doesn't specifically mention drones, but could be argued in court. That said, they have attempted to cover their ass on the Nashville.org website by including the word drones that was omitted in the actual ordinance. Now, here's why Keith thinks he's right. He and I have been flying in the Nashville area for years, safely, including this very park. And before he took off today, he applied for and received Lance approval to do so. However, in the FAA verbiage, there's this little caveat, which essentially gives the green light for these local municipalities to create these ridiculous drone ordinances.
Your hands are tied because you have that mandate from your department. Right. And so you have to understand that. We just have to, this is something that is ongoing in the drone community, and we're fighting it every day. And the way the drone laws are right now, if there's a city and they don't like drones somewhere, they can go to Kinko's and make a no drone zone sign, and then it's up to us to fight it in court, even though the law's on our side.
And it doesn't necessarily have to go that way unless somebody doesn't want to listen, want to make things more difficult.
We see a problem with what this cop just said. He's talking about people not wanting to listen and make things more difficult. It's actually the government who makes everything difficult for everyone. Ordinances, policies, regulations, and new laws every day is what's causing the civil unrest. Then you have these enforcers coming out to harass anyone who does something government doesn't agree with. It's like we said earlier, without cops, politicians are just people with bad ideas.
Okay, I'm doing my job, okay? Metro's,
and I understand and I appreciate that.
And once again, I came over here with the best intentions just to let you know, okay? And you didn't want to hear anything I had to say. You want to throw your license at me.
I simply informed you that you can dictate whether I can land or take off here.
That's what
you cannot dictate to me whether I can fly overhead,
you can't,
which is what you were trying to tell me quite clearly I could not do.
You can't land or take off in a metro park.
I said that already.
Okay.
And I said if you want me to leave the property and take off and fly over your park, I'll do that.
You said go across. You can't
exactly.
do that across
I'll go outside of your grounds and take off and fly over the park just as if I was standing right here.
If that makes you happy,
how about if we leave?
I want to thank you for being cooperative.
Sure.
I want to thank you for being cooperative. I want to thank you for just complying. I want to thank you for letting government dictate over you. I want to thank you for giving up your rights. I want to thank you for making my job as an authoritarian easy. I want to thank you for disrespecting every service member that died fighting for your freedoms in every war this country has participated in.
You bet.
And not making things more difficult than it has to be.
Yeah.
Some people just like to do that,
City
which
and
makes
state
no
law don't
sense
trump
to me.
federal law.
Have you?
Okay.
It's okay, Keith.
I'll write about this next week in my article.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
Have you had interactions with drone people before?
Yes, I have.
And what usually happens?
It's the same thing.
Really?
And they don't give any problems.
I'm not giving you a problem.
They listen.
I'm
and I did listen. Okay. You didn't listen to me.
They don't want to try to be. I'm gonna do whatever I want because
I never said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never once did I say that.
How about if we just go, and then we'll sort it out later, Keith? It's all right.
Ken, I never said that. I said you can dictate whether I can take off or land here, but you cannot dictate whether I fly over this airspace.
You said you wanted
I have a federal authorization to do so right now.
Anyway,
I'm done talking.
Well, that's great. I'm done talking.
We are.
You have a great day, sir.
Excuse me.
We are
Stay
both
cool.
certified FAA.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any questions about anything any interactions in the future?
I didn't expect this to take this long and for me to still be here. I really didn't.
Oh,
well then go.
Okay.
I committed a crime.
I'm gonna go.
I'm
gonna go.
Once again, I thank you for being cooperative.
Sure.
Have a good day, man.
Okay.
Stay cool, man.
All right.
I'm not sure Keith realized just how close we were to getting arrested. In these situations, police are trained to not only listen to what you're saying, but they also look for nonverbal cues like a person's stance and other body language. You may have noticed that Deputy Dog here was ready for the thing to pop off and go south at any moment. Just like Batman, when police start fiddling with stuff on their belt, it's time to take it down a notch.
Keith, I wish I had showed up here first.
No kidding, right?
You gotta. We need to get you into a group, like a workshop.
He didn't listen to anything I had to say. He just
I know,
wanted
but
to
you
bark
have
his
this
little orders.
You
and
have
be a tyrant.
You have this tone about you. You have a tone.
I know I'm within the law. And if
I know.
there is
I
an
know.
ordinance
I know. I
in
know.
the city,
but they
that's
hear that
fine.
all the time.
I'll abide by it.
Keith, I love you, man. You know I do.
would.
You know I do, right?
I told
but
him
you
I
have
would.
a tone. You have a tone.
Believe me, I get that all the time.
Just listen. If this happens to you ever, and just. You got two choices. You could be a Keith or you could be a Ken. You can just do whatever they say. Sure.
I will point out though that neither Ken or Keith are wrong.
There's the problem, and that is the limbo that we are in right now for drone regulations, because the police are woefully misinformed. And they're not going to listen to a couple knuckleheads in the parking lot. They don't care. They just want to do their thing, and that's fine. But the problem is, at this point, they're right and we're right. And until some precedent is set, then these interactions are going to happen. But if you have to have an interaction, Keith.
I was being polite.
I know, but I have video of you. Not being so nice. But I won't show it.
No, you weren't here when he first came up, unfortunately.
What did he say?
Where he was
what did
just
he say?
being tyrannical and you need to land
well,
that
hold on.
now, and
When you use words like tyrant in front of them,
tyrant.
they're not going to react well.
Well, when you don't want to listen to anything the person you're engaging with has to say,
but
and
they
just dictate your little rules to them.
They have the badges and the guns.
Well, that's fine. I got my gun too.
Okay, all right. They didn't hear that, did they? All right. Anyway, Keith.
Unreal.
Keith, you're worked up, but just admit, you could have handled that better.
I was trying to be nice. I was.
Were you though?
I was.
And then when did that fail? At what point did trying to
4 or 5 minutes into the conversation?
All right.
Just
you know I love you, right?
I'm looking to get more cops.
You know I love you, right?
And be,
you know I do, right?
tyrants.
You know I do. Let's go have a milkshake.
Now let's
calm
go
down.
fly.
Okay.
Just not.
All right. Well, it's never an uninteresting day when good old Keith is around. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
In the end, just listen to what the authorities say, unless you want to wear some handcuffs. If you're in the right, then work that out later. And just know that some authorities are nice and understanding, and others are, what's the word? I can't think of it.
No, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
It is on the tip of your tongue?
Right, tip of my tongue.
That's weird. I didn't know that about you, Keith. Until next time, buh.
And bye.
And here are our final thoughts on the video. We have to agree more with Keith and Ken. First of all, if you just comply, government will step all over your rights. When that happens, the courts don't do anything about it to stop the cops from doing it again. The lawyers out there won't help you unless they can make a fortune off your case. Keith stood up to this cop who felt he wanted to enforce the letter of the law. Forget about the spirit of the law. He asked to identify Keith and Keith refused. Ken made some comments that were cringe, but We have to thank him for stepping in and de-escalating the encounter. There are so many communities that have so much in common with each other and they don't even know it yet. And that is bad government, whether it's the drone community, truckers throughout the land, or First Amendment auditors. We're seeing cops harass the ever-living shit out of everyone. It seems like Democrats and Republicans both have more in common than they thought. At the end of the day, you all are being trolled by the government to see how much they can take away your freedom. The left wants more government and the right wants to enforce it. But this isn't a political statement. This is a reality check. You both get a nice bitch slap from your masters at the end of the day. Whether it's more taxes or more laws, you will both just comply or get dealt with by Uncle Sam. I want to thank Ken Keith for breaking down the drone laws and ordinances. I want to thank you all for watching and getting involved, trying to make America great for everyone. Make sure to go say hello to Ken on his channel and let him know that, no, the people should not just comply. Challenging government on the spot is the most heroic and patriotic thing that people can do. Stay free, people. We'll see you on the next video.